going to do a video on an AR-15 build, and I decided to build one in 300 blackout. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this cartridge, and I basically want to find out for myself. Why the 300 blackout other than the 7.62 by 39? I've heard a lot of problems with the 7.62 by 39, and they said if you wanted to go with a 30 caliber, go with the 300 blackout. There's certain advantages over the Russian cartridge, but I'm going to do this one first. I may buy an upper in 7.62 by 39. I just ain't got the cash to do it, so I'm going to do this project first. And I'll show you what we're going to use here for the build and get it together. I've got brass, and then I'm going to reload the cartridge. And again, this is it's like, what was the cartridge designed and what's the intent? The 300 blackout, 300 whisper can be used in the subsonic version with a silence gun, and that's when you load like 220 grain bullets. And like one guy said, in something with a short barrel, like a 7 or 10 inch barrel, like a submachine gun with a suppressor, what you can do is like take your AR lower and bolt in that, put an upper on, and have something suppressed which is kind of equal to about the same power as a 45 caliber submachine gun. I'm not going to go through the trouble of getting a silencer and running something suppressed. It's not worth the money for me. Okay, I know my neighbor has a rifle and a suppressor. He has a bolt action rifle. But I'm going to build an AR. And I will try to shoot subsonic and sonic ammo, but something tells me I'm going to probably stick to the sonic ammo and make it like a nice little carbine that can get out to 300 yards or so in a 30 caliber, which I kind of like. Okay, so let's take a look at the components I got. What I did scrounging around, I went to a gun show and I had to pick up some parts, and I just bought this upper receiver, the flat top. The guy said it's made by FN by the marking or something on there, you know, and it doesn't have any numbers on it. But I picked it up, paid about 60 bucks for it. It's a little high, but it's kind of like, I had to talk to the guy and he's selling me a part that I had missing, and he had to like disassemble something, so I kind of bought it more or less to be nice to him. I bought the other part. I got the forward assist installed. I was trying to install the door, but today ain't my day, and I lost the damn little C-clip, so we're going to leave the dust cover and the door off for now. I had to order another little C-clip. So we got, that is the up. Now I got a barrel, 16-inch barrel. This has got Anderson written on it. I picked this up for 130 bucks off of Amazon.com. Now it's 16-inch long barrel, and I got the pistol length gas system. You can get these in carbine and mid-length. Now where people run into problems is in subsonic, the mid-length is bad. They tell you go with the carbine at the least. But I went with the pistol length, just to be sure. Now, the reason you'd go with the shorter pistol length is because if you're using subsonic ammo, and kind of this is more of a test. I want to see if I can test it with reloads and factory ammo and see what results I get. Because some people went with the carbine length gas tube and they have trouble running subsonic. So I got the pistol length, and we're going to see. Now, bearing that in mind, we're going to use a low profile gas block, which I have here. And that's going to go here, low profile gas block. and I'm going to dimple the barrel and get that on. And I have a pistol length gas tube. Now, if this gives me trouble or over gases with sonic ammo, they also sold, which I've seen, and I just seen this and I got it, is this gas tube here, which kind of bends around. Now what this is this is the same length as a pistol gas tube. But how this would mount on the barrel is this would go in, oh, I have to go in this way. Slide down in there. Your gas block will go in here to where that goes. This will go in like this. And you see this kind of wraps around the barrel. So what this probably would do, this device here would give me a carbine length gas tube using the pistol length. Okay, so that's my little ingenious thing. If I have trouble running the pistol length gas tube, I got this other one I can mount on there, which probably would be the same as a carbine length or something. So that way, with the one barrel, I got two options if I run into trouble. So on this build, I can't get too permanent with the stuff. Like I said, I'll dimple the gas block, but I won't Loctite it down. And if I have to change it that way, I got to take it all apart and redo it. So we got this here. Now for the handguard, I went with this key mod deal. And this one here, it's made in China, so it was only like $48 for this. So we'll see. It's a 10-inch, I believe, which would be like a carbine or mid-length. They go by length, like 7 for pistol, 10, 15 I think is a rifle, and they make a 17, which on a 20-inch barrel almost goes out to the flash suppressor. So I like this type other than the quad, and I like the key mod because if I want to put something for a sling swivel, or I decide I can put on the rail, mount the option. You can get short rails, or you can get rails that run the whole length, whatever you want. So I kind of like the idea of making it as I go, and I don't mind it, because the quad rails, I hate grabbing it. It like cuts and digs into my hand. This kind of does, but it's not as bad. So I went with this free floater. I got the nut here. And then as a muzzle brake, I found one now. This thing it's not your standard AR-15 size. And like with the 9mm and the 300 blackout, the sunlight's changing on me. You have to use a larger thread, 5/8 by something. You shouldn't really get a 30 caliber barrel that uses a 1/2 inch by, I forget the standard thread for the AR-223. So that's another thing you'd have to look into is you know, your barrels too. You got to watch that, because I remember I looked around and got this one. And again, this will have to come off to get all the gas block and everything off. So I'm not going to really, I'll get it on there, but I'm not going to really tighten it down. And this is pretty neat. We'll take a look at it once it's together. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I made another video about dimpling the barrel with a little fixture. I'm going to do that first. And when you do a build like this, you have to think. Okay, you want to get the dimples, well, you can do it before or after, but I'm going to do it now with the barrel. Just by itself, just for convenience. Get the dimples in. Then I'm going to go and set the barrel onto the receiver with my barrel nut for the free float. And then I'm going to put the gas block and the gas tube in. Okay, took the barrel, put that jig I have to go in dimple the back side for the gas block. I did a separate video on reviewing this from this company. They make several of these devices either for dimpling or for putting the cross pins in for your sight. They're a little bit more expensive, but stuff works, saves a lot of time and headaches, and helps. And what I do is I just go in there and drill till I see it more or less. I just do it till it almost matches the hole in there. In other words, I get the whole drill point. And you just kind of eyeball it. That's got it. All right. All right, with the device off, there's my two dimples. A lot of people don't like using this method to secure a gas block. They say that it affects the accuracy in that, but we'll leave it to be seen. So there, we got something that'll lock that gas block down. Because if you kind of don't do it, them set screws are pretty small and the gas block will slide off. The reason I had to buy this is I bought an upper. I shot 10 rounds out of it and the gas block slid up from the recoil and the gun wouldn't function. Alright, now we're going to mount the barrel nut. Okay, we have our upper receiver. I put a little bit of lithium grease on the threads. You know, that's what they say is the best thing to use, not anti-seize or whatever. Some people put oil. I got my action block. We're going to set our action block in the device. Okay. Take our barrel, and you know we got to line it up with the notch. I believe most of you probably have either set a barrel or watched a video on YouTube. Okay, got that in there. Bear with me. Okay, this particular model has this little lock ring on the back. I'm just going to leave it on there, turn it in. And then this goes on, and we hand turn it. Now, if we run into problems with alignment, I got some shims because in the past I've had that trouble, and shimming it to line up the gas tube was probably the best thing to do, other than trying to face off the thing or redoing it, retightening it over and over again. Okay, let me get my wrench and torque wrench ready. Okay, I got my wrench, torque wrench, and we're going to use the little points on there for this free floating handguard. Lock that into the holes, and I have it set at 35 foot-pounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our 3 times tightening. Then we're going to loosen it up. Really don't know what the purpose of this is. I guess to set the aluminum or something. It's in the armor's manual, in the military manual, to do it this way, to go by that thing. Alright. So now we got to go from 35 to 80 foot-pounds, somewhere in between, and hope it lines up. Now you may run into problems where it doesn't. So here, we'll go 35. Get the wrench off, and I'll show you my method of checking the alignment. Alright, take your bolt or bolt carrier. Now you disassemble it, take out the firing pin and the bolt and everything. Okay, and what you could use is a 180 gauge pin, which you stick up in here like this. So you have this. Or you can use a number 33 drill, one or the other. Take your operating handle, get it up in there, and then use this, your actual bolt carrier, as your gauge and see if it comes through, which it doesn't. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust more torque to 35. We can go from 35 to 80 foot-pounds. So I'm going to do the increments, and maybe I'll take a look how far I'm off. Also, it looks like it just went past one hole. So it's a rough estimate. You may have to shim it. We'll see. I'm going to try to torque it down and get it to go. Okay. Let's try that again. Just let this thing go in there. Fell in. So, yeah, it's good. And another way is, like I said, look down through the hole, and if you don't see any of the, if it looks lined up and solid going through the receiver, should be good to go. So now we got the barrel set. Took I tightened it, I over tightened it, then pulled it back and pushed it up to about 50. So that did it. So now we got this where we want it. Now we'll go and mount the gas block and start getting it together here. Okay, we got our barrel nut on. Now, like I explained before, I got two different gas tubes. I got a pistol length and that other one that curls around like this. I guess that's made, if we're getting too much gas, we can replace this one with this. And like I said, I intend on using basically sonic ammo. So we're going to put the pistol length gas tube in first. So everything's going to kind of be disassembled again and that. So we slide this on and line this up. And I decided to mount it on there like that for ease. And we slide it up to where it goes. Now I took the set screws out so I could basically line them up with the dimples close. And then run them down in. Now usually I'd Loctite this in, but I may have to remove this again, so right now I'm not gonna. The dimple should be sufficient until I, decide whether this is an idea, and I want to be able to change it. Okay, that should be nice and tight. We'll zoom in here. And if you notice, the set screws are in a ways. When you got a dimple in there, so that's locked in there. That's not going to go anywhere. And we're good to go here with the pistol length and looking like it should in there. Okay, next is going to be this free-floating handguard. Oh, I got it down there. So you're going to back, there's like a little lock washer, this collar. Going to back that off. And like I said, this thing's made in China or something. Key mod. It was under $50. And this one here seems to line up alright. I did a check in. What you'll do is just take it and Now I gotta get it started. Screw it on. Pretty simple, pretty neat. Back out. Now if this goes right, you should be able to screw this up to where, you know, I'll wait till the last turn or so to show you. Should be able to screw that. See, there's a hair of a gap to where it looks like it, yep, just touches. Okay? And what I do is kind of line it up by eye, and then you use this lock washer thing to kind of get it up in, or maybe even twist it off a little. Turn it to kind of get some pressure up against that. Now this thing here uses a screw down here. This screw with the long little, let's zoom in on it. It's got this long little nub on it. Right there. And that nub should go down in between them grooves like the thing did to help lock this in place. It looks like it's lined up. Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta forgive me, I'm not having a good day here. And then screw this down in. You don't want to force, the other one I have doesn't quite line up for some reason. And we kind of got it in there. See if that goes down. You don't want to force it too hard because I had trouble with one of these like this and the screw bound up. Kind of use this thing to tighten it up. There, that's our key mod handguard on there. Okay, with our thing. Now, this muzzle brake I got, I forget, it's not 1/2 inch on the barrel, it's 3/8 by something. And I also bought this muzzle brake. It's a little different. It does have ports on the top, angled, so you'd want to time it to where it turns. And we're going to put this on. And I'm going to use either a used crush washer or something because we're probably going to have to take it off. We changed the gas system, we're going to have to take it off. And then I do have an end cap that goes on here. But the problem with that is to put the end cap on, then to grip this, to get this muzzle brake on, you probably have to use like a barrel vise and grab this on the 3/4 or something. Or if you had a 3/4 vice blocks, I think they might not be long enough, but we'll go to that once we get finished. So let me get the muzzle brake on, we'll take a look at it. Okay, it's getting late, we kind of got it together, but here it is with flash pressure on, and then I got these nylon flip up sights for now. I may order a red dot sight of some sort for this build once I get it tested. But for right now, I want to test the gas systems and reload the ammo because the ammo's kind of on the expensive side. And I'll get into that on reloading. Now, supposedly with 300 blackout, you got this barreled upper, okay, the receiver, the barrel, and everything. Supposedly, the beauty of this system is you take your standard 223 AR-15 carbine there. And then you take this weapon, you break it down, with your pins. Okay, got your lower. Take your upper. Pull out these two components. Set the 223 upper away. Take your 300 blackout. Install the same bolt carrier and operating handle. Pin the gun back together. And even use the same magazine. And there you go. 300 blackout. Let's see if I can. That's about it. And we should be ready to go. You know, that's the whole concept about it. And sorry for the quality of the video. I didn't have a real good day today, but that just takes you through the build. We'll come back to this gun. We'll do more on reloading for it and all that other stuff. And I may, instead of just keeping this as an upper, I may make a purpose-built rifle, or just a standalone gun out of it. All right, well, that's the 300 blackout build. That's what I come up with. And like I said, I'll update this, and once we test it out and see if we have to change the gas system, we'll be back and do another video on this again. And maybe we can get out and fire it this weekend. I don't know yet.